Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Trey Finesse, and yeah, today I'm just gonna let you guys in on a little experience of the life, my 21st birthday, my gift to myself, and what I did, because 21 is kind of a coming of age. At least I wanted it to be. I tried to make it kind of, something memorable. So I went to nowhere on my birthday in June. I decided to go to Rolling Loud in Miami. I've never been to a concert before, or I had never been to a concert before up until that point. So I decided to, take on Rolling Loud, and my boy Ant and my boy Joe, they said they were down as well. So we booked a flight. Joe's aunt hooked up a spot for us to stay. And we just got into it. We got just a regular JetBlue flight. It was pretty normal, you would think. But the best way to start a trip is a good flight. And, if the flight goes smoothly, it just lets you know that, this trip is going to be great. And boy, did my flight go great. We get there. First, when we pull up, dudes right there just chilling, doing nothing. I said, yo, you can check these bags in? They said, of course. Boom, check-in, done. We pull up inside, chill a little bit, cop some snacks and drinks for the plane, for the flight. Boom, hop on. Ant says, yo, I think that is a famous rapper sitting in first class. I say, yeah, all right, bro. He says, yo, I swear to you, that was Torey Lanez. If I've ever seen someone who looks like Torey Lanez, that was him. And you know me, I say, yeah, all right, bro. And then Torey Lanez posts on his story that he's on a flight. And now the game gets interesting. Oh, K gets his flight upgraded, his seat upgraded. I go to sit in my seat. There's a family sitting there. I say, my pass says this. He says, my pass says this. I say to the attendant, our pass says this. And he goes, oh, you're upgraded to economy plus, man. Not even comfort. I'm in economy. I'm in just a regular flight. He goes, you get to economy plus. So I go past like the first curtain. But now I can see into the first class, and he has the entourage with him. And I'm like, oh, this might be Torey Lanez. I get off the flight. I say, Ant, that is Torey Lanez. Ant goes up to him. He's like, yo, what up? You should have seen the smile on his face. Torey Lanez is a good guy. He seemed happy to see us. He dapped us up. He was like, yeah, enjoy Miami, enjoy the concert. He was a good guy. He chopped it up with us a little bit. I appreciate that. Torey Lanez was a cool dude. And that was just the perfect way to touch down. So then we pull up to the condo, and I'm just already excited that I don't have to pay to stay anywhere. Joe's aunt hooked up a condo. Well, it's her condo, and she's letting us stay there. I walk in, and if I had a moment in my life that I wish could have been recorded from an outside perspective, that was it. Because the smile on my face, we all had our own bedrooms, our own bathrooms, a beautiful kitchen, exquisite dining room, living room, spacious. It could go on. And it was a perfect place to stay. I put all my stuff in the drawers, made it feel like home, made sure to keep everything nice and clean, set up my bathroom with my hygienics. And I'm like, all right, now it's time. Time to turn up the next day, Rolling Loud, baby. We time skip ahead to Friday. It's Friday. We get up, get breakfast, get prepared for the day. Make sure to sip up on some Pedialyte. Because, we got to get lit for Rolling Loud. But you got to prepare responsibly. You know how we roll. So we get there at 3 o'clock. The gates open at 3, so we pull up at 3 in the V. And we see some old head on the side of the road opening up some big-ass field. So we asked, yo, we can park here? He said, yup. Opens at 3 o'clock. General admission parking is free to park. We got the first spot in there. Zoom. We zoom around. Nope. Hour-long wait to get into Rolling Loud. We waited an hour. But once we got in, it's like, wow. You see mad blow-ups, lights, stages, basketball courts, half pipes. Probably some full pipes if that exists. Nah, I'm just... Bad joke, my fault. But yeah, a lot of stuff was there. A lot of stuff was going on. It was a lot. It was a nice experience. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying this. So I already, I like to get to it. I hop into the middle. I'm like, let's get lit in the mosh pit, bruh. These small kids at this point, the further up you go in the crowd, the taller your population gets. So right now I'm all the way in the back by the main stage. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, mosh pit. Some unknown artist is going on. I don't know who's singing, bro. It's mad early in the day. And break. The beat drops. Boom, 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 boom. Like I'm getting hit with Neji's 1,000 trigram palm jutsu, bro. I was like, yo, my ribs hurt. They were fucking my shit up. I lost one of my shoes. That was the takeaway. And that was only from the first toe in the water. So I'm like, damn, that's how this is going to be. I find Joe and Ant. I'm like, listen, I think this is going to be some tough shit, but I think we can handle it. And they were like, all right, bro, we're going to this stage to see somebody. And I don't even remember who it was, but it was someone they liked and I didn't really care for. So I said, I'm going to see how far up I can get on the main stage. I'm not going to overdo it, but let me see how far I can get for the big artists like Lil Baby, Playboi Carti, and A$AP Rocky. So, yeah. I push up as far as I can just by, like, walking. You know, obviously no resistance at first. And you get to the mosh pit kids, I kind of zoom past them. And then, yeah, I get to a point where people are kind of pushing back, but I'm a little bit bigger than everybody. So I'm getting through. And then, boom, a little wall of energy pops up. And it's like, all right, I got to try a little harder and try a little harder. But you got to be strong. You got to have a little finesse. You got to be able to move. And then you get to a point where you really, I didn't want to look like I was trying. And then I would have had to at that point. So I'm like, all right, I'll chill here for the night. I'm about 40% of the way up. Nope. Some kid grabs my shoulder. He says, yo, I see he's like linked up with like a bunch of other kids, like 5 other kids, and they're like short. And I'm like, fuck it, I get low. I'm like, what up? He's like, yo, we get low, we push to the front. And, you know, I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, all right, let's get it. We fly up to the front. Boom, boom, boom. So now I'm like 60% of the way up. And this is where the big wall hits. Boom. Now everybody's like about my size. But they look like a little bit stronger than me. But I'm like maybe a little bit taller than them. And then I see a group of people coming past me to my left. And these boys look straight out of New York, where I am from. Shout out the North. They're wearing the fitteds. They got the, I'm just like, trust, when you're from New York, you can just tell. I'm like, yo. They look at me. They're like, yo. I'm like, yo, let me up with you. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get through. They're like, yo, let them through. Everybody starts kind of, I'm like, I'm with them. I'm with them, bro. So then I start listening around, and I'm noticing people doing the same thing as me. And I'm like, they're not copying me. That's how it goes. I'm like, I bet you none of these guys know each other. So I stand on my toes as tall as I can, and I'm in a crowd with hundreds of thousands of people. I'm leaning. I can stand on my toes, get tall. Yo, I'm like, I'm trying to get up to my friends up there. Yo, I'm looking a little panicked. A little, guys, don't leave me. And they're like, yo. And I was just happy. I get about 75% of the way up there. And then I'm like, this is a good spot to chill. I don't know what that, see, that's why I can't be doing these commentary shits, because I be doing shit like that. We're not going to acknowledge that. But yeah, somebody like Playboi Carti, Lil Baby, A$AP Rocky, they were all tough. I'm dancing, I'm vibing. This girl comes up to me, and she's just like looking at me. I'm like, what up? Like, she looked good. And she's like, yo, she's like, this is my first time on one of these. This is crazy. And I said, yo, me too. Like, that was like, I'm like, yeah, like, bro, I didn't notice a single person around me. And in that moment, I was like, yo, this is intense. Like, yo, I realized I'm tired as fuck. And she was just like, yeah. So she's just dancing. We started dancing and vibing. You know how it goes, man. You know how things go. And then I just say, like, yo, what's your name? I forget what she said. And then I just nonchalant, respectfully, I said, yo, I need the snap. And she said, you know there's no service in these crowds. Which there isn't, bro. If you go to, like, a large group, like a large gathering like that with the heat and the older people, woo, my throat, pause. Phones, like, do not work. Like, it's just the service is shot. And I said, bruh, just put the snap in. She put it in, mad smooth, pass it back, screenshot. I screenshot the username she put in. I'm like, I'm just going to add it when I get back. I didn't even say that. I just had to leave it unsaid. She knew what was going on. And she said, she just like, you know, I think she appreciated the smooth buttered toast. They call it buttered toast. It's my name for that move. Nah, I'm actually a loser. But yeah, so that's what I did. She was mad, tough. I threw the phone back in my bag, and I'm like, all right, now I got to leave you. Walk away from me. So then I'm bouncing around. Boom, boom, boom. Just going crazy. You know, all my favorite artists are up there, bro. You know, I love Playboi Carti. I love Lil Baby. It's just people I can vibe to. And then A$AP Rocky comes on, and they have a bunch of, like, pyrotechnics and stuff. So, yeah, I'm like, let me get out my phone. And and video this because it's pretty cool, like the fireworks and flames and effects and stuff. So I look behind me and my sling bag is empty. There's a hole ripped in the bottom. My phone, my wallet, 2 shirts, the shirt I bought for my brother, the shirt I was wearing, my other shoe. And I looked up, like ASAP was halfway done performing. I have no money now. I have no phone. Might as well enjoy the last half of ASAP Rocky, man. I probably looked so depressed just sitting there. But I forced a smile and I'm listening. And I'm, it's time to fuck out the whole gang. I feel a tap on my shoulder. And this kid said, yo, I think these are yours. And he hands me my phone and my wallet. And my phone is cracked to fuck. It's fucked up. I press the power button, it still turned on. I look at him. He was one of the dudes from before. He was like, yeah, you helped me before, push to the front. And I'm like, my boy, thank you. Like, it was just a crazy moment. And I looked at my wallet. There was no money missing. All my cards were there. And yeah, like I had money. I would have given him the money in my wallet, but it would have been disrespectful to hand him like $11. Like, he deserved more than that. I owed him my life. I should ask for his Cash App or something, or his Venmo, because in that moment, I don't think I've ever had a bigger like drop and then come back. Like, I would have lost my shorty snap. That would have been abominable. But yeah, my boy, he saved me. I have eternal gratitude to him. And then it was time to leave. And I'm like, fuck, there's mad people behind me because I'm like 75, 80% of the way up there. Like, I'm pretty close to the front. So I start walking back. And again, just in any situation, you just want to look and try to find people who look like they know what they're doing and who do not look like nervous and panicked. So that's what I did. And I see people walking towards this fence. And they're like, yeah, we're definitely just going to hop this fence and then figure it out from there. So at least we're not in a crowd of people. Money. I'm like, let's do it. By the time I get there, the fence was torn down from people hopping it. But like, there were still metal strands of like wire from the fence. So I'm like, fuck. And everyone's like, yo, like they have to hop mad high to get over it and like move and be agile. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm still lit at this point. I'm still smacked, like, because it's just rolling loud. That's how you do. And yeah, I'm hype off just everything going right, getting my phone and wallet back. I hopped through the bitch like Spider-Man, bro. I just got through it. I'm like, wow, that was smooth as hell. I'm like, I don't know what everybody was yelling about. Now I went to take out my phone to text my mans because I had a little service now, I would presume. And my hands were gushing blood and cut. And I was like, yo, I just fucked myself up, but I just don't realize it because I'm smacked. Tough realization. Still was able to find my friends. They made sure to let me know I look like shit. Got McDonald's. Might have been the best spicy chicken sandwich I ever had in my life. Get ready for the next day. That's only the first day. Boom. And I say, all right, today is the day. I figure out the master plan. I say, Saturday, Travis Scott, Young Thug, Roddy Ricch, Don Toliver, Kodak Black. I'm getting to the front row, and I will be the first person. I will be in the front row. And then on Sunday, Post Malone. Sunday, I am as far back as you can go. And I'm just going to relax and listen to Post Malone. And Lil TJ and Jack Harlow. Chill artists I could just vibe to. But for my boys that get me lit, I will be in the front row. So I say we're getting there early. As soon as, like, we can get in there. And that's what we did. We pulled up, and there's nowhere to park. The parking opens at 3 once the performances start. But the gates open early. I don't remember exactly what time it was. Maybe like 10 or 11. But the performances don't start until 3, and that's when the parking opens up. Fuck it. They're driving around looking for parking. I hopped out, went into a smoke shop, and bought a weed pen because I forgot mine at the condo. And don't discriminate. I'm 21 years old. I just told you I'm 21 and it's legal. Don't judge. Don't judge. It's my 21st. So yeah, I'm in the smoke shop, and I hopped out of the car while we were at a red light. So they never actually went in with me. They just kept driving around looking for parking, and I told them I would meet them in there. Whatever. So I'm in the smoke shop. I cop whatever I got to cop. And it was so much more expensive than I thought. I was like, what the fuck? I only had $100 cash in my wallet, and I had $100 cash in my wallet. I didn't bring any of my cards and stuff with me in case another sling bag incident happened. I bought $100 cash and my ID, and that was all that was in my wallet. But I'm walking out of there with like $17.30, and I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, I'm like, well, that's tough. And I'm walking out, and who do I see? A bunch of dudes who look like they're from New York. So you know what I had to do? I'm like, yo. And they're like, yo. I'm like, yo, what up? Where you guys from? They're like, yeah, we're from Queens. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. I'm from Long Island. And they're like, oh, that's cool. They're like, yeah, you roll with us. Watch this. We're going to the inside. Hop on a golf cart. Fly past the people waiting online. We going through a side entrance. There's a side thing. Scan my wristband and walk in. I said, appreciate it, guys. They said, yeah, enjoy. Just another example of people being so nice. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Everybody's in a great mood. But yeah, then I go to the front row. There's no resistance, bruh. Fucking. And listen, for what it was worth, the people in the beginning, it was the girl who sings that Euphoria. Yeah, that one. And then Coi Leray. Now, we don't have to explain Coi Leray. But like, they were the first people to go. And like, there was no resistance to get to the front on the main stage. So I got to the front row and then got to see all that. And that was cool. So then it starts to hit that heat. I'm like, what the fuck? I haven't eaten anything. No, I lied. I ate a bacon, egg, and cheese from Starbucks, and I drank a coffee. I ate a bacon, egg, and cheese from Starbucks, and I drank a coffee. And I went in there. I bought 2 water bottles, which lasted me about an hour. And about 3 hours in, my boy Don Tolliver's going. So it's getting lit. I'm front row. Bow, bow. I'm like, yo, it's fucking hot. I'm like, yo, I feel like shit. My vision starts going blurry. Start hearing that heart beating, bruh. And I'm like, damn, I feel like shit. And then I look around me and I see people who look worse than me, but I also see people who look better than me. And I have a mental illness, bro. I'm like, wait a minute. How are they just chilling? And then all of a sudden I'm chilling. And I'm looking around, I see people throwing up. And all of a sudden, they start tossing people over the front of the fucking gate. Like, to where the security... I'm like, oh, no, I got to straighten up. I'm like, yeah, Don, you can say... I'm like, Don, listen. I'm like, yo... There was and they started throwing out fat people because, like, the fat people who could not hold their own. Like, there was some strong offensive linemen up there. Like, offensive linemen, and they were, like, holding their own. Like, I was kind of holding on to them, and they were chill. I'm like, yo, you got me? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's what's up. Boom, boom. And then some fat boys can't hold their weight. They said, throw him out. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, throw him out. And some people just like, fuck it. They grabbed him, tossed him over the edge. And he's like, already needs to be revived. Like, he's on 10 health. He feeling like, and they're like, yeah, if you can't hold your own, you got to get out. We need strong people up here to push back. And I'm like, push back what? But yeah, then like it kind of chilled out. And like, I'm like, yo, I survived that. And I feel like that was the first wave of, like, whatever you got to get through, like, in my experience. So then, yeah, that's just how it went. You just had to have patience. And I wasn't getting involved in any fights. People started looking for fights and stuff. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And then I remembered the mental state I was in. And I'm like, you know what? As long as I stay in the front with these people, there's a fan that blows water vapor on you. And they give you water bottles periodically. Because I told you, I had run out long ago. So I have had no water to this point, and it's 100 degrees in Miami in a crowd of 200,000 people with fire blowing in front of me from a concert. So that 2 sips of water, they go, yeah, 2 sips of the bottle, pass it back. That's like my lifeline at this point, and there's water vapor hitting me. So, yeah, then I'm just like, this might be the peak of my life, bro. I'm looking at Travis Scott, Roddy Ricch, Young Thug. Like, it went seamlessly. Like, I was talking to the people around me, and, like, anytime I start to go, they're like, yo, just keep your head up. Like, bro, you made it this far. Like, you got to see the best artists. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, and they were uplifting me, bro. And I'm like, I appreciate that. So then, finally, Roddy, Travis, Thug, they all go. They cut off Young Thug short. Fuck that. And, yeah. Then I look behind me, and I have to get through this whole crowd to get back. And then I realize I have no clue where my friends parked, which wouldn't be a problem if my phone wasn't dead. And I also only had like $17. So I couldn't call an Uber, and I did not have enough money for a taxi. I didn't know where they were parked. So then I looked behind me, and I'm like, yo, I don't feel good. I got to hop over the gate and go out. And the guy says to me, he says, yo, if you go over here, we're going to cut your wristband. This is like when people got sick or when people got tossed over, they would take them out through the back and cut their wristbands, which is like, what? They were like, yeah, if you get too sick going through the middle, or if you hop over and the security has to help you out, your wristband gets cut and you can't come back tomorrow. So I thought about it. And I said, fuck Post Malone. I hopped over and I said, somebody give me a water. And they said, get out of here, bro. And I'm like, damn, all right. I tried to push my luck. So I'm walking backstage. Travis Scott is still in his last song. Travis Scott is bumping his last song. I'm walking back there, bro. And this is backstage. This is like all the artist tents. But at this point, like, they're all long gone. Like, they're all just empty tents and trailers. And like, there's coolers with like food and water. So I just see people taking them. I don't take it because I'm pussy. I'm backstage right now. Let me not drag it. So I'm walking and walking and walking. And finally I get to a road. And I'm like, yo, where am I? And then I'm like, yo, I need a drink. So I start walking and walking and walking. And again, I have nothing. I have a dead phone. I have my ID. And I have $17. And yeah, I'm walking. I lost my shirt at that point. I had no shirt and I had no shoes. So then I see a guy and he's just like, yeah, I'm selling t-shirts, 15 a pop, man. And I said, fuck it. And I bought a t-shirt just to give to my brother, because I lost the t-shirt I bought him. Like, I bought him a nice, like, $60 t-shirt, but I lost it the first night. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll buy this $15 t-shirt. It has all the artists on it. Like, it's sick. Like, it's a tough t-shirt. So I bought it. It's fake as hell, but I bought it. Had $2 left. Walked into the gas station. Filled up a large cup. The lady said, just keep it. I didn't have to pay the $2 for it. If she said $3.29, I would have had to end up stealing it anyway. I had lemon lime Gatorade, a 32-ounce lemon lime Gatorade in a styrofoam cup. Walking the streets of Miami. No money, no phone. And everybody's leaving. I'm just walking around. I really don't think I've ever been happier in my life. And then I just do the only logical thing I know. And I just say, you know what? My friends are readable. Very readable. So I go to the first place we parked yesterday. And I just start walking back. Like I said, it's an open field. It's just general admission parking. The later you get there, the farther back you have to go in this field. I walk all the way back. I'm just walking. And I'm like, they're not here. Might as well have to start walking to the Pompanos, baby. Because that's where we were staying, about 30-minute drive. So I might have actually just slept there. I probably would have slept outside and just went back the next day. But, big but. I hear, KJ! And it's my boy Ant. Joe's driving. My boy Ant yells out the passenger. He says, yo, you look like shit. Now, let me in the car. My boy Joe gets the Hall of Fame most prepared badge because he had the portable charger on deck. I plugged my shit in. It charged up real quick. I showed them the video evidence of what was going on that night. Yeah. And then I was even more excited for the third day because I wasn't going to do shit. There was a basketball court, and you knew I had to be there. I had to be on the court. And this kid is guarding me wearing sandals talking mad shit. Number one, it was mad disorganized. At first, they were trying to sign people up, but, like, everybody on the court sucked. It was ass. So then finally, they're like, yo, who wants to play? And then everybody's like, yo, we on. So finally, like, the basketball players ended up on the court. And except for this kid, how did he get on the court? He's wearing sandals talking crazy shit to me. Like, there's a big crowd around, and I'm like, yo, let's just put on a little show. I had this tall-ass dude on my team who ended up sucking, bruh. Like, I thought I'd be able to throw him lobs or something. No. But we'll get into that. So this kid's talking hella shit. So I check the ball up. I say, yo, give it back. Boom. I catch it. In and out. Miss. I'm like, fuck. He's talking hella shit. I lock him up the next play. And then I pass it. Boom. I get it right back. I fumble the pass. Because I'm feeling that pressure from the crowd. So I'm like, fuck. Like, I fumble the pass, but I keep my feet in bounds. hit him with the jab step. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? I'm like, I'm sweating my ass off. I'm like, this is Rolling Loud, and this kid is wearing sandals. As soon as I see him move on that jab step, one dribble pull up, boom. And then the crowd starts getting into it. I call for it again. Big man, get up here, pick and roll. He split hop through, lefty dime, and he just fucking flops like an idiot, bruh. And I'm like, damn, what are you doing? So then you know what I had to do. Whew. Smooth to the... I lost the ball. I can't lie. I lost the ball. So they score a couple buckets. We score a couple buckets. And then they say, all right, game 7, we have 5. They have 5. Guy I'm guarding throws up a brick, obviously. He's wearing fucking sandals. He's like a fucking idiot. So then he doubles the ball. And I'm like, yo, I'm wide open. This guy on my team will not pass me the ball. He's puffed. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm carrying. Pass it. Boom. It hits my hand. I hear everybody behind me go, hey, hold the form. Boom. Game time. And of course, Joe does not record the crowd reaction, but it does not matter because we knocked down the game-winning shot, bro. I was feeling myself. And then I had to dip. Found a beautiful handicap. Like they have the handicapped area. It's a little elevated section where people with injuries or whatever, or old or young or whatever circumstances you have, that's where you stay. And they were chilling up there. And right around it is this concrete. And then it's a field you're not allowed to be in because of the emergency exit. But there's a little gap between that stage and the emergency exit. So we're near the front of the stage. And we're right there. And I'm like, yeah, little TJ's going. Jack Harlow's going. I'm having a great time. And then my boy Ant, he had bottomless mimosas at brunch. We went to brunch before, and we got bottomless mimosas. Well, he got bottomless mimosas. And then he had about 2 or 3, 4 locos. So, of course, my boy starts yakking, bruh. He was faded. So we get kicked out the handicap section, and we got to go into the middle. So I go to the El Baño. I go to the nice bathroom. I'm not going to no porta potty. I'm going to the bathroom in the stadium. So I go all the way to the bathroom by the stadium, and I'm taking a piss, and I'm smacked as well. And I'm walking out, and what do I hear? That, yeah, baby. My favorite artist, Fetty Wap. Bro. So I hear him around the corner, and there's nobody at his stage. Well, there's a good, but I'm a gangster at this point. I've been into the front on the main stage. This crowd meant nothing. I zoom, zoom, zoom to the front. Zoom, zoom. And I'm going, yeah, baby. Fetty. He's going 6. And, bro, I was just getting lit to Fetty Wap. And then I made my way back to Post Malone. Post Malone was just great. Ant sobered up. Not sobered up, but he was competent, alive at this point. And, yeah. We ended up dipping. We left. Slept, and yeah, that was my trip to Miami. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself, and I don't see myself ever doing something like that again because it was intense. I lost my voice. I don't know if you can tell because if you're listening to this, you don't know how I sounded before, but my voice is still kind of fucked up. I went to the doctor, and he said that, he said you definitely lost your voice. You're definitely screaming a lot. You're definitely dehydrated. And, you look like shit. Yeah, what the fuck? So I looked like shit for a while. I still kind of look like shit, but, we getting back in the lab. We hitting the gym. But we'll leave that to the future because, this is just my experience with Rolling Loud, Miami 2021. And I hope you were able to take enjoyment in my experience. And I hope you have a great life. And that's me, Trey Finesse. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
Bro, I survived. I made it back to the crib safe. So in case you were wondering, suck my dick. And I'm about to order Taco Bell. Interesting. I kept my hair protected today. Interesting. I wore this shit. I wore a shirt on my head. Boom. Oh, that's how you fix that.